good morning. Good morning. Good morning, all the distinguished guests and very lovely participants from within this room and from all over the world. We are having this session live on our website, and if you don't know yet what is our website, then let us show you. Oh. Okay. The web address is on the screen. Please feel free to have a look. We have the program live there. If our speaker present, you can click on the speaker's name for his or her CV and maybe his or her slides as well. Okay, let's start the day. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Waraswam Dojinda or Michael from Sivatum University. I will be your MC for this event. Let me start with a brief information of the event. We're gonna have 2 days jam-packed speakers to give us insight knowledge on information about MOOCs, because our title of the event is the first Asia Pacific MOOC Stakeholder Summit, the very first one. So you are here to make a history together with us. We will start the event with opening ceremony. After the opening ceremony, then we will start with track number 1. Track number 1 will be subject and program level of MOOCs organized by Thai MOOC. That will fill the morning session. For the afternoon, we will have track number 2. Track number 2 organized by Japan MOOC. They will talk about platform or portal level of MOOCs. That will conclude the first day. And on the second day, we will resume in the morning session with signing MOU between JMOOC, Korea MOOC, and Thai MOOC together. So if tomorrow morning you can come to be a part of this history, please kindly join us. After the signing ceremony of the MOU between 3 MOOCs, we will proceed with the kickstart of Thai MOOC. After the kickstart of Thai MOOC, then we will continue with track number 3. Track number 3 organized by Korea MOOC. We will have presentations on MOOCs at institutional level. After that, we were going to have track number 4, our final track, organized by UNESCO of Bangkok. It will be on policy level of MOOCs. We have a lot of great speakers, so please join us until the end. Okay, now please allow me to move on to the very first session, the opening ceremony of this inaugural, the first Asia Pacific MOOC Stakeholder Summit. May I please invite representative from Thailand Ministry of Education, Associate Professor Dr. Thapani Thameta, to give opening remark and welcome speech on behalf of Thai MOOC. Thank you.
Professor Kazuhiko Shirai, President of JMOOC Japan. Professor Yang Waki, President of National Institute of Lifelong Education, Republic Korea, KMU. Dr. Hwang Ju Kim, Director of UNESCO Bangkok. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure to extend you all a warm welcome on behalf of Secretary General Office of the Higher Education Commission, Dr. Supat Champathong. And I would like to welcome the participants to the first Asia Pacific MOOC Stakeholder Summit. Since the dramatic arrival of massive open online courses MOOC on the higher education landscape, universities globally have started to grapple with how digital learning functions within their existing mission. Some systems have responded through a significant investment in MOOCs and new online learning program. MOOC have changed education beyond the academic world, while universities are opening up education to learners worldwide. The collaborate the institution and non-profit worlds explore the benefits of training concept for personnel, client and public. At last, the harness the advantage of technology based on the model of MOOCs. The Office of Higher Education Commission, OHEC, Minister of Education Thailand, had realized the importance of MOOCs to promote lifelong learning for Thai people that can enable them to develop their potential and knowledge. OHEC collaborate with Ministry of Science and Technology, Minister of Digital Economy and Society, and Higher Education Institutes in Thailand to develop the system and courses for Thai MOOC. Over 140 courses have been created in the first phase and are ready to access in this month, March 2017. On behalf of OHEC, I would like to extend my gratitude to the keynote speaker, invited speaker from Asia Pacific for your kind contribution in this edition. Our grateful thanks go to Japan MOOC, Korean MOOC, UNESCO Bangkok, and Thai MOOC, Thailand Cyber University Project, and organizing committee for their effort in making the first Asia Pacific MOOC Stakeholders Summit possible. I will surely provide a great benefit to educational sphere. And most important, I wish to thank all participants for taking your time to join the conference. I sincerely wish that our hard work will sustain fruitfully for years to come. May I at this point wish everyone here a great success and all goal in this event achieved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Director. And as this event is hosted by also Japan MOOC, Korea MOOC, and UNESCO, may I please invite Professor Kazuhiko Shirai from Japan MOOC to give a welcome remark. Thank you.
Thank you for kind introduction. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. As one of the co-hosting organizations, I would like to express sincere gratitude for participation in the first Asia Pacific MOOC Stakeholders Summit here in Bangkok. I would like to appreciate KMOOC and Thai MOOC for their contribution to make this conference so much successful. Thai MOOC for their contribution to make this conference successful. As many of you may know, we had the Asia Regional MOOC Stakeholder Summit in Tokyo last March. In the final session, we promised to have another conference 1 year later in Bangkok. I'm very happy that the promise was completed here. The stream of MOOC has occurred in United States in 2012 and spread to cover Europe. And then it has come to Asia. The role of Asian countries in various fields has become increasingly important globally. Education must be the basic element of wealthy growing up and mutual understanding on the civil level. In that sense, MOOC must be the powerful infrastructure of modern society. I hope this conference will be the next significant step for whole Asian collaboration. We should launch a new Asia-Pacific MOOC consortium here this time and invite many other members from more countries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Shirai, President of JMOOC Consortium, Japan. And now, may I please invite Professor Dr. Yong-Hwa Kee, President of National Institute of Lifelong Learning Education, Republic of Korea, to give a welcome remarks.
The Honorable Dr. Subit, Secretary General at Office of the Higher Education Commission, Ministry of Education, Kingdom of Thailand, and honored guests, invited speakers and panelists, distinguished scholars and professors, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Yong-Hwa Kee, President of National Institute for Lifelong Education, Republic of Korea. It's my great honor and pleasure to be here today as one of co-chairs for this excellent event. I would like to express my gratitude to all the wonderful, inspiring people who finally make this event possible. First and foremost, I thank all the brilliant co-chairs of steering committee of this event, Dr. Bandit, Deputy Secretary General at Office of the Higher Education Commission, Dr. Kazuhiko Shirai, President of Japan Massive Open Online Education Promotion Council, and Dr. Kwang-jo Kim, Director at UNESCO Asia Pacific Regional Bureau for Education. I would like to thank in particular the members and secretary of the steering committee for their continuous passionate efforts to arranging the meaningful event. Dr. Chantabit and Dr. Tapani and Dr. Yoshimi Fukuhara, Dr. Living Wang and Dr. Han Ju-seok. I believe it's opportune for all of us having a meaningful event about the MOOCs here in Bangkok, as MOOCs have played a significant role in reforming and opening up the higher education in Asia-Pacific region, thereby enhancing the competitiveness of the higher education as well as laying the foundation for lifelong education and learning in the region. Despite is a couple of concerns such as the revenue model, learner authentication and credentialing, badges or accreditation, MOOCs have significance of MOOCs for higher education and lifelong learning. Above all, MOOCs are accessible to virtually everybody who has access to the internet, and courses are free. Learning through MOOCs occurs at times and locations that best suit the participants. MOOCs learners can interact with other people with a shared interest, are exposed to a diverse range of perspectives and ideas so that they can stimulate reflection and further interest in a topic. MOOCs allow learning and development to be tailored to the needs and interests of each learners. MOOCs open a world of learning possibility and promote lifelong learning. Today and tomorrow, we are going to track the major positive developments of MOOCs throughout Asia and the Pacific region. We will be in search of national strategy to promote sustainability of MOOCs at 3 levels: program courses, institutional, platform, and policy level. And then we share case studies on MOOCs as an educational model with high impact. Finally, we are going to identify areas of cooperation in Asia Pacific to drive, sustain, and scale MOOCs, thereby creating an important opportunity to expand as well as to deepen their exchange and collaboration between MOOC platforms in the region. I believe this conference will offer us excellent suggestions that will be useful in encouraging and improving MOOCs as disruptors in the higher education as well as a facilitator in lifelong education and learning in Asia Pacific region. Once again, I would like to express my special thanks to all of you here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, President Key. Last but not least, may I please invite our another co-host from UNESCO, Professor Dr. Kwang Jo Kim, Director of UNESCO Bangkok, to give a welcome remark. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, Sawadee-Kap. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to be here to welcome you all to the first Asia-Pacific Stakeholders Summit on MOOCs. First and foremost, I would like to begin by thanking our generous co-hosts here with us, Ms. Tapani Tamitar, Director Thailand Cyber University and Office of Higher Education Commission, or OHEC, Mr. Katsuhiko Shirai, President of MOOC, former President of Waseda University from Japan, and Ms. Younghwa Ki, President of National Institute for Lifelong Learning, Republic of Korea. We are very grateful for your hard work and hospitality. And I would like to thank my own colleague from UNESCO Bangkok as well, Dr. Libing Wang and Wes, and our Thai counterparts. Thank you for working together to bring us all here together. I think this event is very timely and pertinent. So perhaps I may share with you what I think about this MOOCs initiative in the larger context. Firstly, as you all know, the international community, together with the UN system, including UNESCO, launched new development agenda last year. It is called Sustainable Development Goals. I'm sure you are all aware of this. 17 of them. So we call them SDGs. If you look at SDG from number 1 to 17, you will realize education occupies an important position. Goal number 4 is about education. Is about education. The vision is ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. As such, SDG 4 covers all areas, all subsectors of education under the banner of lifelong learning. Now, how is it different from the previous global education agenda called MDG/Education for All, by the way, which began in our host country, Thailand, more than 20 years ago, Jomtien. That's the beginning of Education for All initiative, which later became part of Millennium Development Goals. So we call it MDG/EFA. The major departure from MDG for SDG is MDG is more or less about basic education for all, especially completion of primary and basic education. Whereas SDG now covers not just basic education, which comprise of primary and lower secondary. Now it's about primary, secondary, tertiary, higher education, TVET, and lifelong learning. As I say, it covers always education. Then you may think, why is it so? Why education has, as a whole, become a part of a global agenda? To me, the answer is quite simple, because education is key to SDGs of all kind. Not SDG, only SDG 4, but other SDGs as well. You name it, be it poverty reduction, health, nutrition, renewable energy, all SDGs. Without quality education, one cannot arrive at the SDG targets. Without skills formation, without people who are able to work with people from different backgrounds, people who understand others very well, they need to work together to earn all SDGs. So in that regard, I used to tell my colleagues, education is no longer a domestic national issue. It is national issue, especially when it comes to curriculum contents, yes. But if education is confined to national territory, we cannot tackle issues that go beyond national boundaries, such as climate change, such as global scale disease, conflicts, natural disaster. All these challenges, I won't call them problems. These challenges, they simply do not understand national boundaries. They go beyond national boundaries. Therefore, solutions also have to come from transnational initiatives. How? The first important step would be to make people to be able to cope with these challenges beyond national boundaries. We need to make people to be able to work with people from different backgrounds. That's why I think education is key to SDGs. That's, I think, why education is no longer a national domestic issue. It is domestic issue, but it should be also transnational global issue. That is why education occupies an important position in the set of SDG goals. Having said that, when it comes to MOOCs, MOOCs is particularly, as previous speakers mentioned already, particularly pertinent in this context of SDG in terms of expanding education opportunity first and foremost, and in terms of making people to learn throughout their life. If we stick to the conventional modality with the brick and mortar approach, so-called, may not be possible. In Asia Pacific, on average, as of now, only 2 or 3 out of 10 eligible people are attending universities, although education opportunities at higher education level are expanding dramatically in countries like China, India, in gigantic countries and other middle-income countries. So according to a UNESCO report some years back, higher education is expanding out and also expanding up. Nonetheless, a vast majority are still left the very opportunity. How can we expand opportunities for each and everybody? If we stick to, again, traditional modality, it may be impossible. That is why I think this kind of initiative with MOOCs is so important. Not only that, if you look at the MOOCs, it's normally the most appropriate platform MOOC would be at the highest level of education system, meaning higher education. That's why I think we have the people from higher education area. Higher education is at the top of any education system. As such, higher education provides lots of incentives for both learners and teachers at school level. If you look at the secondary education, our host country, Thailand, the opportunities are expand very rapidly, but is far from 100% coverage. If I'm not mistaken, how do we expand, for example, upper secondary education? First and foremost, we need to give them opportunity to move on after they graduate, be it workplace or at tertiary level. That's why higher education being at the top of education is so important in terms of giving incentives to other lower level of education. Also, higher education is the, in a way, ending point, the entry point to the real world of work. So whatever we do at higher education should be relevant to the real world of work, especially the productive sector. So quality, when it comes to quality, what matters most would be at the tertiary level. With all these reasons, I think this MOOCs initiative is a must, a way to go in terms of expanding the system, in terms of enhancing the quality, in terms of giving opportunities to those who are not included as of now. So open and distant learning have huge potential, as previous speakers said, as the innovation drive for improving higher education. Moreover, MOOCs are an excellent channel to promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So in the Asia-Pacific region, we are already seeing many good cases from different parts of Asia. So it's an opportune moment for us to share these promising cases. So with that, I understand the objective of this meeting is fourfold. Number one, take stock of national MOOC platform throughout Asia-Pacific, including 3 MOOCs initiatives from Japan, Thailand, and Korea, and formulate national strategies to promote sustainability of MOOCs at 3 levels: institutional, platform, and policy level. Thirdly, share case studies on MOOCs as an educational model with high impact. And fourth, identify areas of cooperation in the region to drive, sustain, and scale MOOCs in the region and beyond. So to help you along the way, we are pleased to share with you our new book on blended learning for quality higher education. My colleague, Dr. Li-Bing Wang, together with Professor Cherping Lim, who is not yet today, who is invited by TCU. Thank you for inviting Professor Lim. The 2 authors, co-authors, will share with you about what this publication could tell us, especially the part on self-assessment exercise for institutions interested in ICT innovation. So we are working on this holistic model and capacity building process right now in Cambodia and Sri Lanka with support from what we call UNESCO Category 2 Institute, newly established category UNESCO Institute based in Shenzhen, China. I think it's with SUSTEC, South China University of Science and Technology, is hosting the institute. They are working closely with the 2 countries in the region. So it'll be good for us to hear from these 2 country cases, how are we going to go about it, how do we assess the readiness and preparedness at the institutional level with this publication. So in terms of our push for today's event, we are looking forward to 4 things. Firstly, launch the new national platform MOOCs in Thailand, or Thai MOOC, and then signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between 3 MOOCs initiatives, JMOOC, Thai MOOC, and KMOOC. I thank you for this initiative and developing a synthesis report from the Asia-Pacific MOOCs Stakeholders Summit, and most importantly, your engagement in developing a new joint work plan for the way forward. We hope this meeting will be very useful for our member states and stakeholders for developing policies and strategies to integrate MOOCs to promote quality education and to attain SDG 4, as I said in the beginning, which is very, very relevant to all member states in Asia Pacific and beyond. And if I may add, as we all know, MOOCs is a relatively new initiative following OER, ODL, etc. And it's driven, not driven, I should not say driven, it has more or less initiated in other parts of the world, especially in the West. But when it comes to need, innovation, I think this is the reason where MOOCs should prosper, should blossom. So in that regard, I think this meeting, the inaugural meeting, MOOCs Tech Summit, I like the word summit, is critically important. So those of you who are sitting in the room, you are the pioneers. I would strongly suggest that the outcome of this meeting will take us forward to make Asia Pacific as the epicenter of MOOCs for the years to come. Thank you very much. Kopungkap. I wish you a very productive meeting.
Thank you so much, Director Kim. Could you please remain on the stage? May I please invite Dr. Thapani, Dr. Shirai, and Dr. Ki to join Director on the stage for a group photo, please. Can we turn off the projector just for a moment, please? Okay, whole hand, join together. All is included in making MOOCs a sustainable success. Okay, now could you please also remain on the stage? I would like to invite our keynote speakers and also our VIPs on the stage. May I please invite Dr. Lim, Dr. Pong, Professor Liping Wang, Professor Supani, Professor Chavalet on stage, and Professor Anushai. Thank you. Professor Anushai, please. Professor Yoshimi as well, I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay, cheese. Okay, thank you so much. Please join me to give them a big hand. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, and before we go to the break, we have important session. We need to understand what is going to happen within these 2 days. So may I please invite Mr. Wesley Robert Tetter from UNESCO Bangkok, Thailand to give an overview of the Asia Pacific MOOC Stakeholder Summit. So please give him a warm welcome. Thank you.
Sawadee krap. How is everyone? Michael, I'm afraid we've forgotten a level. Can everyone hold it like this? Can everyone remember the 4 different levels that we're trying to deal with in this summit? What are the 4 levels? It's a lot of levels. It's a lot of levels. Course level, program, institutional. What's next? Policy and portal, right? Portal level. Platform is portal, yeah. What are we missing? Policy we have. What are we missing?
People.
We're missing people. We're missing students, right? I think it's very interesting. I was just thinking about the program in those 4 levels and what GJ said about lifelong learning, quality education, and the fact that all of us need to be thinking about education throughout our lives. So really, learning is across all 4 levels, isn't it? You think about, we are all students, okay? But without your voices as part of this discussion, this stakeholder summit is incomplete. Those will not actually touch on the most important element, which is students. of us included. So I hope you think of yourselves as a student, and I hope you feel invited to participate in the event, because I think that's most important, that everyone here is a student. They're all trying to create these platforms to engage you, to help your career, to help you launch your career, whatever phase of your own development you're in. You need to think that no one on the stage, while they might be a keynote, has been doing this for more than about 4 years. Has anyone been doing about 4 years? 5 years, 6? TC actually going to be one of our first keynote speakers, and I'm so excited that he's here because he has a tremendous background and is quite famous on the edX platform, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? So we have some great speakers. We have a great program for you today, but it's very important that you feel like you can challenge, that you can engage, that you can ask questions and say, I don't want to take that course. Okay, thank you. Changing batteries. I don't want to take that course. What portal is that? How is that going to make my life better? How is that going to help my career develop, right? So it's very important that you think not passively as an audience, but active as a learner, as a lifelong learner. We are all students. Everyone on the stage can be challenged. You can raise questions, and we will invite you to do that. We also want to invite you to pick up a free copy of the book on blended learning for quality higher education. It's outside. We have more. It's also free online, as it should be. Open educational resources should be online free. So you don't need to take a print copy if you don't want, but online. And I think it's exciting that many of the authors, including my boss, Professor Li-Bing Wang, one of the editors, and Professor Lim will also be here to talk about this self-assessment exercise. Again, another tool that we can use as part of this event. So I think that's the second most important point. We are all students. And the next, Michael, the last point, I think, is coffee. I think that's actually a critical point, because in a conference, you need time to connect. You need time to meet each other and share ideas. And I think that's really why we shouldn't cut coffee breaks short. We shouldn't cut discussion time short. Engage with each other and connect. We're all students. I hope you feel like you're invited to join as part of this discussion together. And we look forward to TC Pong's keynote coming up next and many other great speakers to come. Thank you very much. Khop kun kap.
Thank you so much, Wesley. I call him Kun Wesley. He speaks Thai very well, but he just made a stunning talk in English. Okay, as he said, let's have a coffee break until 10:15, and we will be hearing from our first keynote, Professor T.C. Pong from Hong Kong. Thank you very much.
TC will stay a few minutes. He has another event, though. He might be.
Oh, remote on that. Okay.
ได้